hunting each of us for the first time.
I'd like to see someone that knows sign language actually decipher what the fuck that was.
I think it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a review?
Yeah. I've always heard about this movie, and I've always heard I was supposed to see. It's one of those movies, that everyone knows and everyone talks about and everyone loves, and you got my approval.
I think this movie can basically be described as it is. What would happen if the mind of a genius was locked in the body of a
janitor?
Someone that is not your stereotypical genius, I guess is the best way to put it. So it's almost like the whole movie is just people going like, wow, this guy's smart, but he's kind of a dick. Yeah. It's like, it's basically James Cameron if James Cameron was a mathematician.
Yes. He feels like he's cursed by it in a sense, because, he just wants to live just, his basic life, because he's got some troubles and he's being held back mentally. And Q, this, teacher, professor, sees some potential in the kid, wants to improve it, brings in Robin Williams, and that's where the meat and bones of this delicious meal is, and it's very nicely cooked.
Yeah, I could not put it a better way. No, I think what does make the film interesting, and yes, the meat of the film is Robin Williams and Matt Damon, but it is so much more complex than that.
Oh, of course.
Honestly, I don't think Robin Williams really comes in until
it's a while.
It's an hour.
I was waiting. I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was going to be that right from the beginning, but it is a story, not starring, but I mean, it's centralized around Matt Damon's character, Will Hunting, which is the guy's name. So, fun fact.
I always thought it. I always wanted to try and decipher what the title of this film meant.
Right. I thought you looked for some goodwill.
Yeah,
goodwill towards men.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I think something that makes this film so good is just all these characters that want to help him are all very deep in their own ways too. They all feel like real people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all just have their own goals. They all have their own, desire for Will. Mm-hmm. And it's so interesting seeing this because, you'll have scenes where Will isn't even in the scene, but you'll have different characters arguing with each other about either him or their own relationships.
Yeah.
And it builds, in a way, this whole world of characters, which films don't do.
And the world feels so real when they talk to each other. It's not like movie jargon where it's like, let's go to the bar and have a few drinks. They'll have their own mannerisms, their own euphemisms. You can tell they're friends. It's just like a couple guys just hanging out. They're not. It's not trying to do more than it should. It's not trying to act and be deeper than it needs to be. It's just you want to see guys at the bar, and you connect that. We all have a friend who will do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Yeah, it's very. I would say a lot of what supports it is that dialogue. Like you said, it's very realistic, but the writing in here is phenomenal. There's a lot of good, memorable lines. It's almost insane how intense some of these monologues get. It gets pretty intense. This is a very emotionally intense film.
It is.
Every scene drips with emotion in it. And the writing supports that to the point where you can get kind of lost in these monologues that people are saying.
You feel emotions, happy, sad, anger, joy. It's one of those movies that makes you feel.
Yes.
And it's been a long time since I've watched a movie where it legit got me. A lot of times I feel like I'm watching movies and it's like, oh, I know I'm supposed to be crying at this part. I'm supposed to be feeling happy at this part. Oh, I'm supposed to be laughing at this part. But this one, it's like sometimes they'll say a random thing or a joke, and it's like, I feel like I'm just hanging out with the guys, and it just wakens you up in your heart. And I really appreciate this good. Yeah. Sometimes a movie just honestly just leaves you breathless, or not breathless, speechless, and
that movie was so good. I will say one of the coolest things about it is really Matt Damon does a great job being a dick in this film. To the point where I think a lot of the joy from this film comes from seeing him transform over time. Because he's a dick, and you can't defend his dick. But you can see where he's coming from, and
Exactly.
and you can really root for him as you see him, you see him handle with the situations that comes up to him in his way. You really do want, like, you're on his side the whole
Yeah.
time, I guess, even if he's a dick.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of like a little mini anti-hero thing where, like I always say, I like when, he's not a bad guy, but when not the good characters feel like no, I'm doing whatever. I'm like, this is good. I'm just gonna do that. That's fine. And it's even his dick acting isn't bad. Sometimes like, oh, you're just pretending to be dick. Like, I actually feel like this movie's really well acted by the cast and speechless. Oh shit! It's heads.
Obviously,
Oh, come on.
I don't.
Where'd you really expect us to say tails? I didn't like the movie.
We literally didn't say a bad thing about it.
Is it still rolling? Hey, I know this is gonna cut, so I'll say, I untied my shoes.
None of this is gonna be in.
No.
I know. I untied my shoes during the movie because one was tighter than the other, and I didn't want to retie it, so I just untied both. I don't know if you guys noticed that was. I'm giving you a closing line. Close it.
I just like that.
Jesus Christ!